Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out today. We greatly appreciate it. So this is our January sales meeting. I have lots of neat stuff to share with you guys. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker.
My name's Bing Richardson, your compliance for Lomas Martin and your mortgage lending.
All right. So we're going to jump in. I got a lot of stuff I want to share with you, kind of thing. And hopefully we're going to be real interactive and have a good time today as well, because this is a time to start looking at what's really going on in our businesses and what's happening. So right now, overall closed sales really pretty flat, because I like to pull the numbers every month of kind of how we're looking overall, state of Georgia, that kind of stuff. We will have a lot of regional differences because there's always going to be a difference between Macon and Griffin and Alpharetta and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to give you some overall for our state and how it's looking. Top number is Georgia MLS. The bottom is FMLS. And so you can see that overall we had closed sales for up in Georgia MLS, down in FMLS, pretty much flat. It's kind of how we ended up the year. Pretty flat on overall sales volume. Pricing also was up for the year. We finished Georgia MLS being up about 1.5 FMLS being down about 1.5. We finished somewhere in the 3 to 4% range property value appreciation for the year. And that's much less than we've had in past years, but it is very normal. Y'all know what the normal average appreciation is for real estate over the last 50 years?
50.
Not just 50 years, yeah. 50. 4.5%. It's 4.5% is your average appreciation. So a little less than average, but still we're seeing positive value appreciation. Is that good or bad? Good. Well, anybody want to buy a house in a depreciating market? I mean, we've been through several of those, and when you go into a depreciating market, everybody's like, well, I should wait for it to hit the bottom kind of thing. So that's not a good thing. We don't want to see that.
Really quick, we move next slide. I just want y'all to see, top is Georgia MLS, bottom is FMLS. Notice the price difference.
Mm-hmm. Who thought Georgia MLS had higher prices than FMLS? Isn't that interesting? So
because for the longest time, Northside always dominated the market, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. But right now, we're going to talk a little bit more. What's the big catchphrase in real estate? Affordability. All about affordability. We're going to be going there for sure today. So days on market, 78 days on market in Georgia MLS, 55 in FMLS. Now they calculate a little bit differently, but we are at 78 days on market. Who needs to know this? Sellers, buyers too, but sellers especially, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of our sellers still kind of expect, like, do you think we'll be under contract in a week or two? Right? I mean, right now, this is 2.5 months of average marketing time. That's not counting the time to actually go through due diligence, get your inspections done, all that kind of stuff. So we are seeing much longer days on market. There was a point where we were doing 2-month listing agreements, 60-day listing agreements. Do you want to do a 60-day listing agreement right now? No. We also want to be realistic. I want to make sure that we are setting up realistic expectations with our sellers, right? Because we have to let them know that normal marketing time now is 2.5 months. That's kind of what we're looking at. That's a real shocker for a lot of our sellers at the moment. A lot of our sellers, especially, they'll be like, well, I'd like to sell in the next few months. Okay, then you should have been listed 2 months ago, right? So that's a big thing that we definitely need to be talking about with them. Now, for our buyers, because we have such longer days on market, what stands out for a lot of our buyers then? Because it used to be, we're always looking for the hot new properties coming on the market. We're starting to see where price reductions are a big deal, right? Just because a property has a price reduction, it used to kind of be a reduction on price meant something's wrong. Now it's that, okay, they came out too hot. They came out too high. That kind of stuff is coming back to bite a lot of people on the rear ends there. So overall, how long are properties sitting on the market? Like right now, we have about 4.5 months of standing inventory. 4.5 months in Georgia MLS, 3.8 in FMLS. We have seen where inventory has been an interesting story for this past year. And even though we're sitting at 4.5 months, we were over 5 months of inventory. So inventory has been rising all last year, and we needed rising inventory for sure. Now, for the first time all last year, new listings went down. We spent the entire year having much higher new inventory coming on the market all year long. And then we saw that number tapering down throughout the course of the year. Now that has also led us to higher inventory across the board. So that previous that was new inventory. Total inventory is up 11% roughly in Georgia MLS and 11% in FMLS. So that means we have 11% more homes, total homes on the market this year versus last year. Is that good or bad? Well, not just buy, but I mean, like, y'all remember, look, it hadn't been that many years, and we were like, I just need some houses to sell, right? I mean, we didn't have enough inventory. And so now what's interesting is even though we have 11% more homes this year than we had last year, that is actually a tapering off. Like, look at one point, we were 35% more inventory this year than last year. And so this is how our year went. And what do you notice about our total inventory for the year? Started out pretty hot and heavy, and then it tapered off. Our total inventory was tightening up throughout the course of the year. We're going back to tighter inventory right now. We need more inventory because what season are we in right now? Winter? No. Don't think we're in winter. We are in the spring market. Now everybody thinks, oh, it's winter. And look, it finally did get cold again. Okay, we were all getting tans last week, but we are back to getting cold again, right? And so we needed that. But understand that when you look at the sales trend, especially here in Georgia, right? We see where the sales trend jumps up in March and April. When do those folks start looking at houses? January. Last week, right? Like we are in it now, is what I'm trying to tell you here. So we still have good inventory, but we're heading into the best time of the year when we sell the most amount of houses is coming up in our spring and summer buying season. So right now is a very good time because we still have more inventory. What do you see? What do you see as the trend happening with inventory though? If this trend follows through, what happens by the time we get to summer? Well, it's going to tighten up, right? It's going to tighten up a lot. So one other thing that I think is very, very like take this and please, I hope some of you guys run with this. This is from the past fall. Okay. 27% of properties got delisted in the fall. Okay. Only 1 out of 5 of those actually went back on the market. That means 4/5 of the properties, and by the way, 27% of listings got pulled off the market in the fall. What do we need more of? What do we need more of? We need more listings. No, we need more listings. We're heading into the right time of year. Like 4 out of 5 sellers didn't pull their home off the market in the fall. What do we need them to do right now? Relist. You think this is going to be a good group to reach out to? Yes or yes? Right. That's what I'm telling you. Please, somebody steal this, right? Somebody we need to start reaching out to expired listings, right? Especially expired listings from the fall. That's going to be your sweet spot, right? Because we're heading into a very, very good time for us to be in real estate here. So.
And for those of you who are uncomfortable in talking to expired listing, give us some folks right here and just practice on each other, seriously. Because the more you practice, the smoother it is, right? Because you're going to get the don't bother me call, up yours or whatever it is that, calls. Okay. I understand that, but learn not to take it personal. Yeah. Okay. It's that they don't need assistance at this point. And that's how you have to put your mindset. Otherwise, after about 2 calls and you get that, you're like, man, forget this. But that list can potentially generate you $30,000-$40,000 to get 4 or 5 listings. Yep. So you got to look at it, and that's that perspective. So you don't get yourself bogged down to where you feel like I'm not good at this. Practice on each other because we all know that the more you do, the better you are.
Also, our pending sales are at a 3-year high. Is that good or bad? Y'all are the most sleep group of people I've ever seen for a Tuesday morning. All right. What's your 2026 going to be like? Look, it's either going to be but I gotta get very real with some folks. It's either gonna be the best year you've ever had in real estate, or it's gonna be the worst year you've ever had in real estate. Who gets to decide that? You do. You get to decide that, right?
Yeah.
See, we have a lot of folks in the real estate industry that are doing this right now. They're waiting on the market to improve. Man, if the market would only get better, I sure wish the market was better. Oh man, this market, huh?
Not the cartel.
Yeah, that's okay. Look, he's waiting. All right. Well, we're waiting on the market. So many folks in our business, in our industry, are waiting on the market to improve. If they're not that, they're waiting on rates to come down. Oh, I need rates to come down. Oh, I need property values to come down. Like when this is you, what are you leaving your business up to? Does the market dictate your business? I mean, if you talk to a lot of folks and you're like, hey, how you been doing in real estate? And they're like, the market. Oh, interest rates. Oh, I got, like prices, markets, interest. I mean, they just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. When that's your response, who's controlling your business? Are you controlling your business, or are you letting the market dictate what your business is going to do? See, that's the thing that kicks us in the teeth, is when we believe that the market is what's controlling our business. The market is not controlling your business. Matter of fact, in our years of real estate, some of the best years we had
Was already your time.
were crappy years, right? Years when the market would have said, it's not a great time to be, right? We had some of our best, most productive years during that time. And so we've got to stop this idea that we're going to let the market decide what's going to happen to us. I got bad stats for you, right? In 2016, 82% of realtors had 2 listings. Last year, 70% of realtors had no listings. 0. Guys, that's almost 3 out of 4 realtors had no listings last year. Now, you want to know the really bad news?
Alan.
Sorry, I'm just being, I'm a ray of sunshine, people. All right, this trend's not changing. Okay? That's the real truth. See, the kicker here is the folks that have systems and the folks with databases are growing market share. If you are playing in the game, if you are choosing not to engage with your people, if you don't have systems and databases, you're going to be losing market share. That's really the bottom line. This trend is continuing to increase. You have to understand that and have to embrace this fact. Databases and systems will run your business. But like, we are getting out of whack. When you leave it up to the market is not going to be your friend here.
And
Right.
with the new technology with AI, everybody's trying to get ahead of everybody else, right? So this is why the system works, because it is a foot in the door. So if you don't use the system, even though I know some of you are very apprehensive about your CRM, stuff like that, but I promise you, if you just spend about 30 minutes a day, look at your CRM, how to work your CRM, because that system can work for you while you're asleep.
But we're going to give you some easy things to talk about. I mean, we're going to get there. So, but you got, like the folks that have systems and databases are going to be ruling the roost. Those without are going to be fighting for the scraps. I mean, I don't want to be mean about it, but that's the bottom line of where it's at. So which side which side of the equation do you want to be on? Right? Right? No, we got to stop. We got to stop waiting on the market. We got to stop waiting on things to improve. Right? When you leave it up to the market, what's that going to do to your business? It's gonna kick you in the teeth.
And the thing
Kicked a lot of people in the teeth.
No, is that like Alan came in the market, become real estate in 2009. What happened in 2009?
Everybody's crazy.
7, yeah. All right.
7? Oh yeah, 7. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So what I'm saying, rather than going traditional route of real estate, he went after investor and REOs. So this is where, as an agent, you need to shift when the market shifts. You need to know what's a hot button to get those leads or pick up your phone, start calling. It's uncomfortable conversation, but if your goal is to earn X amount of dollars, right? So you can go on vacation with your family, take some time off, enjoy life, or retirement, whatever the goal is. You need to make sure that when you pick up your phone, that's your goal. And they say no today, it doesn't mean no with everyone. And yes, cold call is not fun.
Well, but look, you
Not
got to
fun.
choose your heart. Like I got to tell you straight up, you have to choose your heart. Is being broke hard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is running like a growing business hard?
Yes.
Which one do you want to choose? Well, I mean, like you have to choose, right? I promise I've been broke. Being broke sucks. Being broke is hard. Making money is hard, right? Choose your heart, right? Being healthy, is that hard?
Yes.
Yeah. Being fat, is that hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything hurts. I can speak to this, right? I'm straight up. Is calling your clients every day hard?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's a task. You have to put it yourself in there. But it's so is not growing your business. Is not growing your business hard. Right? I mean, you got to choose your hard. What hard do you want? You want the hard where you're in control, or you want the hard? Either way, it's going to be hard. Which hard do you want? I have people all the time like, well, you know, I love real estate, but I just don't like talking to people. Well, then it's going to be hard, right? Because real estate comes from relationships. Real estate comes from conversations. You're not having conversations and you're not having real relationships, you're going to struggle in real estate. And I hate to be that blunt about it, but it's very, very true. I want to talk about what is the one statistic that really, really matters. What is the one metric that I need you to measure that I want you to start looking at very, very intently? You know what that is? Everybody needs to have 30 people on their hot and their warm list. Okay? 30 people in your hot and your warm list.
Hey, Alan, what if I just moved here? I don't know anybody. Then
you work on getting 30 people in your hot and your warm list. I mean, like, and we're gonna get there in just a second. She's trying to prompt me here, but look, having 30 people in your hot and warm list, that changes your business, right? Ming and I reverse engineered our business to make sure that we could have, when we had 30 people in our hot and warm list, what do you think happens to your business?
ring ring.
Look, this is how we set it up to manage it, right? If you will do nothing other than get 30 people in your hot and your warm list, your entire business is going to change. Because what happens is, if you keep 30 people in your hot and your warm list, you're going to be getting a closing a week. If you keep 45 people in your hot and your warm list, you'll be doing 2 closings a week. People are like, it can't be that simple. Oh, but it is. Right?
You look at Zillow and you look at other platforms that have tried to use the algorithm of AI and technology alone, just alone. What's their success rate? Zillow's not doing virtual open house anymore. You can't just, they taking off their system where you can call them and access their home, right? That used to be the hot thing. That was their part of the procedure process of AI. Their non-contact, non-human relationship product. That product lost them billions of dollars, y'all. Okay, so all we're saying is that relationship you have with your client or potential, what I call cheerleaders for you. They may not be the actual client for you, but they may be the biggest cheerleader for you because they know you personally and they will endorse you. Just like with my affiliates, you know, I endorse them because they've done a great job and they're always there to Johnny on the spot, right? So why wouldn't I endorse somebody that I have a relationship with, and 2, that's going to serve anybody I refer over well. So same thing goes back to you guys, right? Okay.
Look, 80% of our transactions come from people we know and people that know us. All the time, I see folks who are like working, cold leads and like we hear it all the time. We'll talk to agents and man, I need leads. Ooh, I need leads. I need leads. If I only had more leads, I need leads. I need leads. I hear this all the time. And meanwhile, we're ignoring all the relationships that we have. We don't work on the relationships that that we currently have right now. So I want to break this down a little bit more for you because this is the real magic here. So like first is, what is a hot list?
Not necessarily people that you know, that you probably your phone that you communicate with regularly. You know what you
No, I mean, yes and no. That's the first part. But then these are people who are going to close in the next 6 months with you. You don't know when they're going to close exactly, but you know, I mean, like we all have those people on our list who, look, maybe they got to get this done with their house. Maybe they got to get their credit repaired. This thing's going over here, but you have a hot list of people. You have to keep that hot list and you need to have them printed out or listed out or somewhere because you need to be thinking about them, right? What you focus on grows. And so you have that hot list out. And then you want to make sure that you're staying in touch with these people on your hot list. Your hot list really, really does matter. Because when you're out and about, all of a sudden you see, oh, I just found this new construction home offering 2.99 financing. That would be good for this client over here. Or you come across this beautiful home with this open floor plan. You're like, oh, that's right. They were looking for an open floor plan. Your hot list is very, very important to you. And you need to keep a list of how many people do you have on your hot list, right? Now, in addition to your hot list, and you absolutely need to have a hot list, but in addition to your hot list, you need to have a warm list. So let's talk about what the warm list is. Because the average realtor's database is between 300 and 500 people. Are you guys going to keep up with 300 to 500 people? I'm just being honest, right? No, you're not. I mean, you might be able to send out some emails and some text messages, but are you really going to be able to engage with 300 to 500 people on an ongoing basis all year? No. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your database. If you can, print it out, list it out, have it there. What you want to do is you want to compare the 9 Ds to your database. Now, who knows what the 9 Ds are?
Yeah.
Well, besides the fact they're listed on screen. Other than that, but look, death, divorce, diamonds, like this list. Why do people move? Why do people buy and sell houses?
Life changes.
Yep.
Yep. And what are the life changes that are most likely to lead to people buying and selling real estate? Right. So death. I'm not saying it's a nice thing to talk about, but a lot of times when someone passes, what has to happen?
Yeah, we have the biggest
Real estate,
situation of
yeah.
baby boomer right now.
Yeah. I mean, real estate needs to change hands. How about divorce?
Yes.
I mean, again, not the most positive subject, but like Ming and I have actually sold 3 houses in one divorce. Right? We sold their house. I represented the husband. She represented the wife. They went and bought 2 more. Right? So like there's a need out there. Diamonds. What's happening there? First comes love, then comes marriage, then you got to buy a house. Right? That's a good thing. Diplomas.
Yeah.
Look, go to a high school graduation. The following year, who do you think all your sellers are? Right? Almost 80% of our sellers have no kids in the house.
Mhm.
It's true. Absolutely. How about diapers?
Well,
Yeah. Those little people take a lot of space. They may be very little, but they need a lot of room, right? Downsizing? Look, everybody tells us all the time, I need to downsize. I need to downsize. Do they actually downsize? No, they don't. Now, they will a lot of times not have a second. They'll downsize from a 2-story to a 1-story, but the average downsize is 100 square foot.
Yeah.
Basically a closet, right? I mean, a little bit bigger than a closet, right? Dumpsters. Why dumpsters?
Investors, y'all.
Well, it can be investment. Could be people just fixing up their house,
Yeah.
right? That kind of
When
stuff.
do you fix up your house typically?
Are you gonna
Get
sell
ready
it?
to sell.
We did that. I'm like, our house looks so much better.
Yeah, then we didn't want to sell it, right? Yeah.
No.
How about discretionary income? What happens when people get raises, make more money, get promotions? They're probably going to afford more home. And the daily grind. Who do you know has a stupid commute? I mean, like we had a friend of ours. He used to drive to Kennesaw
On a daily basis.
from McDonough.
Yeah.
Now I say he used to drive to Kennesaw because where does he live now?
Yeah.
He lives in Kennesaw, right? Because like you can do that drive for a while. But what I'm saying is, at this point, I want you to take your database. I want you to go compare it to the 9Ds because these are the people who are most likely. By the way, what do you think these people are most likely to do in the next year? Buy and sell a house in the next 12 months. On average, these people buy and sell a house in the next 12 months. The folks who are going through these. So when you go through and you start working up 30 people that you are on your hot list, that you are engaging with, when it's time for them to buy or sell, who are they going to reach out to? Well, hopefully you're already reaching out to them. Now, how expensive is this whole thing that I've been talking about? I mean, and by the way, the folks in your phone, the folks in your database, are they gonna hang up on you?
Nope.
They gonna be mean to you? They gonna see bad things about your mama? Oh, look, I mean, I told you earlier, expired listings is a good option, but I promise you, they will not be happy. Some of those folks will not be nice to you. The folks in your database that these life events are happening, are they going to be kind to you?
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to have. These are going to be very pleasant relationships, very pleasant conversations. Because are you selling anything to them?
Now they have a need.
Well,
And you have the knowledge provided.
but what leads to closings? Relationships lead to close, not divorce. Where did you know that out? My goodness, no. All right,
The relationship.
all right, yeah. Yes, you can go there, but all right. You took me down a dark place. All right. Look, we would get up and we would count how many hot and warm lists we had. If I didn't have 30 people in my hot and my warm list, what did I need to do that day? I'm focusing on getting more people on my hot and warm list and building relationships and reaching out to them. Can you not go through your phone right now and get 30 people that would fall in that category? Now, do you need to reach out to them and build relationships with them and converse with them? Like who here is in a relationship? Okay, all right. Do any of y'all that are in a relationship not speak to the other party?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, now sometimes hey, maybe that was a bad. No, but what I'm saying is, what do you have to do in a relationship? You got to talk to them. So what I want you to do, talk to these people. You need to be talking to these people on a monthly basis. You need to be keeping them in your, like they need to be front of mind. Look, when we started tracking just this one item, we tracked our hot and warm list. And when we kept at least 30 people, we were averaging a closing a week. We kept 45, we were closing 2 houses a week. And I know that everybody out there is talking about lead systems and talking about databases. I mean, all these different kind of things. What I'm saying is keep this very, very simple. It comes down to relationships. Yes, you can use social media. Yes, you can do these other kind of things. But like, I'll get you in just a second, I promise. But I mean, like the relationships is the most important thing, and it doesn't cost you that much. Yes, ma'am.
Now, is that 30 per person or was that 30 with y'all together?
Well, we kind of always operated as one person. So yeah. I mean, we had different things we were doing, but like if you want 30, that for us was the magic number. If we could keep 30 people, we would do it. When we could work up and when we would start having 45 people in our hot and warm list, we'd be closing 2 a week. And like I said, I know everybody and their brother has their hand in your pocket. Everybody's trying to sell you a lead system. Everybody's trying to get you to do this and social media and Get really down to the basics here. It's about relationships. Yes, ma'am.
So, when you reach out, are you referring to using your CRM?
Well, what I'm saying is that yes, and that's a great lead in because you do need a database. But see, there's a difference. There's this idea that my database is this cold list of people, right? Your database, you should not call your database. And then if you call them, they go, who is this? Which you won't. Like, that's not a database, right? Right? Like if they're like, who are you? What's your name? Where'd you get my number? That's not a database. Right? And so like this idea that we're just going to put a bunch of cold people, your database is people you know, people that know you, and people that you're trying to do business with. Right? We all have this massive sphere of influence, but that's not your database. Right? So when you start engaging with the people, when you start talking to them on a regular basis, what's the number one reason why people choose a real estate professional? Trust. Just trust. Bottom line, trust. It comes down to trust. And trust comes from relationships. We have to go from being known to being liked to being trusted. It's a very straightforward process here.
You know, probably know about 4 or 5 agents out there. What's gonna set you apart? The apart is that relationship, whether it's through text, phone call, or some type of drip. This is where the database, the CRM is beautiful. It kind of keep them, and you can do it not always about selling houses. You can do, hey, this is my favorite recipe during this time. Or hey, because the leaf is dropping, please clean out your gutter. Things like that, they appreciate because it's a reminder other than just trying to constantly sell them stuff. Because otherwise they feel like that's all you're there for.
Look,
right?
if all you
That's
did
how you
was
build a relationship.
take your 30 people or so and put them in one at a time into Bold Trail. Now you've got a place where you're keeping up and engaging with these people. When you talk to them, put notes in there, that kind of stuff. You can send stuff directly out of there if you want to. But the whole idea is that's truly what a database is. That's where the real value is going to come from. Not these massive lists of people that don't really know you and you don't really know either. That's where the true value is going to come at.
And if you're like, well, I just moved here, I don't know anybody. Okay, well, let me tell you, there are agents that has, one of the agents, what she did was she's in a neighborhood. So she reached out to the HOA, say, hey, can I get a list of the HOA folks? Cause I like to announce that I just moved here, I'd like to meet my neighbor. So she had an open house, y'all. Listen, that's how you meet your neighbor, right? And hopefully with that amount of people coming in, drop bys, say, I'd like to meet you, this is me, this is what I do. And I love to see you sample one of my favorite recipe or whatever it is. Because food is always gonna bring people over, right? Okay.
Right.
And so with that said, some of the client or neighbor may be wanting to sell or know somebody needs to buy. So that's how she started her database, y'all, is doing an open house in her own home and invite the neighbor in the area. So there's creative way doing it. Y'all just have to think about it and make it work for you.
Yeah. Now, some of you may feel the market's going to get better. Some of you may be bears. Some of you may be bulls and feel it's going to get worse, or vice versa, kind of thing. Look, so the whole idea here is that you have to have a system, right? Because bears and bulls, you know what? They make money. Pigs get slaughtered. And I know that sounds mean and that kind of stuff, but if you sit there on your behind and you don't do nothing, what's going to happen to you?
It's choosing the hard. So if you do nothing versus go ahead and
Yeah.
eat your frog first thing in the morning.
The graphic, I know. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Sorry. All right, we're gonna. I do want to, like, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to be completely negative, Nancy. Nothing against Nancy. Just saying. All right, but like, look, we are still selling homes like it's 1995. Right? Like we sold the same number of homes last year as we did in 1995. Do we have more people? Yeah, we got 70 million more people. So is there a lot of pent up demand? Yes or yes? Yes, yes. By the way, this is what's going on with buyer demand right now. Buyer demand is continuing to increase, right? Buyer demand is going up in a very, very positive direction. If it's not going up for you personally, is it the market or is it you at this point? Right? Because a lot of times we'll tell ourselves, oh, the market's bad. I'm telling you, the market, you have told yourself the market's not great. We have a lot of great things going on in our market right now, too. It is coming down to affordability. Affordability is a really, really big factor. Now, there was a recent study out. And they said, look, if we want to hit the same affordability as we had in just 2019, one of three things would need to happen. Either mortgage rates would have to go to 2.65%. Is that going to happen?
No,
No. Or incomes would have to go up by over 50%. Or home prices would have to drop by 35%. Yeah, right? So what's happening with wages though? Nope, wages are up. Wages have been up. Our consumers are making more money. So we are seeing on average right now about a 3% increase year over year. And not only that, purchasing power is improving. This is a good sign. Now, is it up 56%? No, but it is moving in the right direction. Our buyers having more buying power, right? How about our home price is going to drop 35%? What's going on with home values? Home values we're going to be in that 1 to 2%. Now, it's not going to be we're not going to be in the double-digit property value appreciation that we were. I mean, we had over 50% appreciation for the last 5 years here in Georgia. That's not where we're going. It is going to be much more modest. We're probably going to be in the 2 to 3% range, that kind of stuff. You can see that actually in December, we were flat. I mean, we were down just a touch kind of thing, which is a pretty normal trend for us, honestly. Overall, Zillow's predicting that we have a 1.3% appreciation next year. And I could see that being completely realistic. So it's not going down. It's also not going up. So we're going to see a 35% drop in values. No, we're going to see pretty much flat pricing in there. What's happening with mortgage rates?
Right.
Woo! Yeah, I mean, look, mortgage rates right now are coming in under 6, or like right at 6 in there, and we're seeing more of the government loans, the FHAs and the VAs are closer to 5.5 right now.
yeah, that's depend on your credit.
Yes. The lender in here is going to speak in a minute, I promise. But but I'm just saying, overall, this is a national study. I mean, where they track the numbers that are going out. And so, yeah, if you got crap credit, are you going to pay higher rates? 100%, right? Yes, that's just the bottom line here. But overall, I'm telling you that FHAs and VAs are running a little bit over 5.5, and right at 6, right under 6 for conventional loans right now. Is this a really good thing for us?
Yes.
Yes. Look,
Yes.
I know. Let's talk just for a second. Like y'all remember when rates were at 2s and 3s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they went to 5.
And we lost our minds.
Everybody thought the world was 5%. Who's going to buy a house at 5%, right? And then they went to 6. And oh my God, the sky is falling. And they went to 7.
And they kept buying.
And then they went to 8. And and everyone in real estate lost their minds, right? And suddenly 5.5, 6% looks amazing. And by the way, historically, this is a really good rate.
Yes.
Right? Is there any point waiting for the rates to get back to 3? You will never buy again. I don't see those rates were artificial. They really were.
So you know why it was 3 at one point?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I know
the
why.
federal funds was at 0,
Yeah. So the bank.
and they were buying mortgage-backed securities, which is what.
So the bank borrowed money from the feds, right?
Right.
When the 0% interest rate, there's a margin because lenders is a business, they gotta survive, right? Just like we all do.
There's a spread.
And there's a spread. And so they were able to do 3%, sometimes 2.75 based on your credit score. But now the federal has raised its rate, so there's still gotta be a margin, and that's why we're at.
Well, not only that, they were buying a lot of mortgage-backed securities.
Yeah.
And then the current administration just changed
Now-
things around, trying to
Yeah.
buy some more mortgage-backed securities, and that's why we're seeing a kind of a drop in rates again. Yes, ma'am.
And then
Yes.
all of a
Yep.
sudden,
Yep.
interest rate
Yeah.
drop as low as 1.9.
Yeah.
0. Well, the federal funds rate was 0 during
Right.
that time.
So when the federal funds rate, when you borrow money at 0%,
It's really easy to
Yeah.
rent it out at 3. Yeah.
and making it very attractive rates.
But overall, what I'm saying here is that mortgage rates are better and looking a lot better. So, like, in addition to that, what's one of the top metros for affordability? Now you may think Atlanta's not that great. If you've lived in Atlanta,
Yes.
yeah, you can say that. Now, if you're coming from anywhere else,
Yeah, like.
are we good value?
Yes.
You better believe we're good value. Absolutely.
Especially from
Right?
California.
New York.
Uh-huh.
January is the least expensive month to buy a home. What month we in?
January.
Right? Inventory's good right now. We know it's going to be tightening up. The average consumer right now will save 20 grand buying in January. What are we waiting for? Right? Look, overall affordability is not great. We're not happy where it is, but it's moving in the right direction. That's one thing I want you to really, really understand is it is moving in the right direction. We aren't going to have one of these three things happen. We're going to have a little bit of every one of them. We're going to see, no, we're not going to 2.65, right? But 5.5 is a lot better, right? Incomes are not going to rise up 56%, but they wouldn't go up 56% overnight anyway. So we're seeing a good steady wage growth on there. And then home prices are not going to drop by 35%, but they are going to be at a much more moderate rate. All these things put together, we are seeing affordability improve. And that's a very good sign for us. Right? What else can we do? Well, Ming, I teed it up for you.
It's okay. Down payment needs. So, a lot of times, sometimes your client may have the money, but they don't want to spend it. Okay, because they're looking out for retirement, whatever state of life they're in. Or saving up for the next big purchase, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. So down payment is available, but understand your credit score has to be there.
Y'all know the DPA program for the people with crappy credit? Because it ain't there, okay? It's not like they have to like you have if you're gonna be borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars, you have to show that you got to be able to pay it back. And so credit scores matter, those kind of things. People with crappy credit. I'm not trying to be mean. We do have some things in place to try and help people that need some credit repair. But the idea that you're going to do credit repair and pair that up with great rates and down payment assistance,
It's not gonna happen.
it's not going to happen. And we got to be honest about it. We got to be real about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but what we can do, we know we have affordability improving. We know that like anything that we can do to assist our borrower. I know I cut her off. You can tell we're married, right? Just want to make sure. So sorry, I'll shush me. Yeah.
We know we're talking about you.
Well, believe me, I promise you, she can put me in my place, no problem. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. Here you go.
Oh,
Here you go. I'm going to step out of this thing before I go. I gotta look.
So what I'm saying is that, okay, so you guys know this and you know my heart. So it doesn't matter if you can't get this borrowed today. You still gotta eat 3 months, 6 months, a year, right? So this is where we're saying, don't throw away your database. Don't throw away your leads. And it's our job to say, okay, all right, Rita, your client's not qualified today. This is what I have suggested your client to do for next, based on their income and their schedule. This is what we need to do for the next 6 months. Okay, now there is a credit repair company that we use as well. And his guarantee is that he'll get your client there 6 months. If not, he works for free. Okay, there is a skin in the game, like anything else, because if I gave you something for free, do you see a value on that? No, but you put skin in the game, would you work harder for that goal? Absolutely. And so this is where we want to make sure you understand that, Joe Camacho, nice guy, is very passionate about credit repair. Okay, and he has guaranteed. His company policy is 6 months. If he doesn't, then he'll work for free after that. Okay. His average cost is around about $1,600. But if you think about it, if I'm a borrower right now with 620, yes, I'm eligible for FHA. But if I can improve my score to 680 or 700, now I get down payment assistance.
Is B the 1600 flat rate?
Well, it depends, because it depends on how complex the individual is. Okay,
Got it.
on the average, $1,600. But you're looking at 6 months of work, y'all.
Yeah.
1,600 is nothing, y'all. But what I want you to keep perspective and educate your client is that, okay, you spent $1,600, right? I'm not here to sell you $1,600, just so y'all know, okay? But if I'm buying a $500,000 home and they can put 3.5%, y'all do the calculation, what is that? That's 1,700-ish, around there, 17,000? You see the return on that, okay? Sometimes your client may qualify today, but they insist on having a DPA program, which is fine. Okay, once again, you can still, not only that, you guys look like heroes. You have improved your client credit score along with getting it done a down payment. And depending on the market, you can maybe potentially get seller to concession on top of that. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the lending institution, what they look at is the credit worthiness of your client. Okay, if they're on the teeter edge, it's hard to get down payment system. I can tell you that right now. You can throw that on the window. And sometimes depending on their debt to income ratio, okay, if they're at that teetering edge of 65% on the back end, what they call back end, they're not gonna be approved for seller concession, y'all. So even though you can get seller to give concession, because there's such a high risk, they may not get qualified for it. So at the end of the day, that qualification has to come first. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So if we have clients like that, my goal is to help you guys get more clients. Whether it's today, 3 months, next month, 6 months, or a year. And not only that, it's gonna make y'all look like rock stars because you actually have helped someone buying a house and that they can be happy with, for one. And you know what? If I'm only qualified for $400,000 right now today, right? Because I improved my score. Partially, when you improve your score, what have you done at the same time? You paid off your debts. So your debt income looks really good. Now you may qualify for a $500,000 home that you really want versus settling for that $400,000. In today's market, you guys, sellers are very motivated because the inventory. All right. And so you can probably get seller concession on top of the down payment assistance. Okay. Understand, y'all have, who's got children? Y'all know each one of them different, right?
Yes.
Okay. Even though maybe an FHA product, it may be that they are different in needs, wants, and desires.
Yeah.
So you, as a lender, what we try to do, we have a very frank conversation, you know? And it's not, in the way the process is now, it's not where the borrower can just upload the statement anymore. We actually tap into the bank when they do the application, and they have to sign in their bank, and we pull straight from the bank. And the reason
Is that a
being,
requirement?
yes, because in the past, part of the downturn market, when it did happen, was people was very good in PDF. They have manipulated the numbers in PDF.
Because I hate that feature when I'm doing a loan.
I know, but it's keeping you honest, right? It is verified through a third party. Okay, it's verified through a third party. It's okay, and I understand. We all don't feel good about letting go our
Yeah.
security, right?
Yeah.
I get that, but these are vested, top-notch, third-party security company. That is their business, and they're not gonna let their business get hacked. Okay, and so what they do is download all the information directly from your bank, so no longer the borrower has to upload any bank statements. Okay, because there's too many manipulation on the PDF documentations to where a lender can't really tell, and you get a default loan and it comes back to the lender for punishment, seriously. And so that's one thing. The other thing is the reason why we pull credit from 3 different bureaus. It's a middle score we're looking at. Okay, and so when you have a data from a third party that's non-biased, you know there's no manipulation paperwork, right? So that's how we process, and that's the way it is. Is keeping the honest, and if you need help, we can work with you in helping you get the score up. Okay, you're not, it doesn't matter me, anybody else, you do loan process. You need to go through this process. Even the hard money lenders, they will do the same thing. Not only that, home money lenders right now is about 12%. So if you like to pay more, that's okay. All right, but that's just that way, the way it works. Because typically people go to home money lender for what? Investment, flipping. What else?
People go to hard money list for purchasing, I've done it.
Okay, purchasing is because there's no traditional loan for you right now, right?
Mm.
Okay, so we have a DSCR loan. And
Yes,
that
that's
is
what it
that is deal directly. My last DSCR loan that I did was run about 7.25. Great job. Okay, and that was about 6 months ago when the interest rate was a lot higher. Okay, so we do have those products available for you guys. So don't miss an opportunity if you're working with an investor, and we have down payment. The SX is 100%. Okay, but understand with every down payment, there is a string attached, meaning requirements. Okay, because Fannie and Freddie wants to make sure your client is not risk averse, that they're not risky, that they're getting the loan and they defraud the government by not ever paying their debt. Okay, so that's how it works. I love work with you guys. He got a flyer out. Now I have a team of lenders that is at least, oh, sorry, I was told to do this. All right, at least 15 years and plus. They're named Joe and Duke, and they're both, and one of them speak fluent Spanish. And we have application in Spanish. So the Spanish borrower does not have to struggle to read the forms. Okay, so if you are dealing with a Spanish speaking, or folks that can't, that is not as versed in English, is an opportunity for you guys. The app does a QR code, and you guys have my business card back, and my business card is a QR code, and we are set up for AM to APN approval. Okay, so now the approval is only good if your client provide the document, right? They can start the application, but don't submit everything or go online and verify their bank statement. We're out of halt. Okay, so understand, we will do approval. Okay, we will talk to your clients and let them know what's going on. Now, I actually have an oversight as far as who comes in. I see all that now. Okay, in the past, I was not able to, but now I see it, and I will call you and talk to you about your client. Okay, and not only that, I can help you structure the real estate side of it to where it's compliant with the lender side. Okay, because a lot of times, sometimes you guys have a hard time with special steps, and you don't write it exactly where it should be until we start doing audit, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. So, but anyways, my hope is to help you guys. Okay. And we do soft pull, meaning it doesn't ding your client's credit. Okay, so that's what we do, and we're very realistic in pre-approval. Well, it's actually approval. Now, if the client is complicated, what I mean complicated, meaning they got all these conditions, or the income is contingent on all these stipulations that they put in there, we have to physically verify each one of those. Okay, so it's not. And some clients are beautiful. You get them, you're like, you're gold. I love you. Can I just kiss you now? But there are others that are a little more complex because the way they do 1099, and then maybe a W-2 as well. Okay. And sometimes because the job changes, understand that does take the structure for someone who's been at AT&T for 10 years versus someone who's been there for 6 months. Okay, we have to look and backtrack the history of the record, because at the end of the day, why do lenders do that? Want to make sure you have a job stability. You're not somebody hopping from one job to another, and we don't know what your income's going to look like in the foreseeable future, right? Because if you were loaned out $300,000 or $500,000, would you say, oh, I trust you? Just
Uh,
take it. No, you want to do your due diligence, and that's what they do in the back end. Okay, it's not hard. It truly is not hard, as long as all parties understand where we are from the word go. Okay, meaning, okay, I have this, do this count. Okay, I have this, do this count. Like child support, if your child is 16 years old, they're aging down 2 years, we cannot count the child support. It's a 2-year rule, because we know after 2 years, you have no more income, right? Same thing as alimony. Okay, so those things we do take, or if you have a child with special need, you get government money for it. Okay, if that contract runs out in 2 years, then we can't take that as part of your income. So all these things do take, it's a little more complex than what you think traditionally. Here's my application, improvement. So there's a lot of things that we look at in the back end to make sure you're a good qualified borrower. We want you to have your home, honestly. Okay, because we don't make money until you guys make money as well, right? So it is to our benefit to make sure we work together and make sure, this one close. Yes, ma'am.
So I had a question about, I have an offer on the listing and the other person is a realtor that's put the offer in and my seller accepted the offer. And they offered about 20,000 lower than what it's listed at. He really wants to sell, so he accepted it. And so yesterday, the realtor reached out to me, and because they also asked for 10,000 in seller's concession. So that's really nice.
How much is the purchase price?
265
So are they FHA?
conventional.
Conventional only allow you up to 3%.
Right.
Yeah. And so she emailed me, well, she emailed yesterday and wants to reduce the price. She said the lender.
That's because, okay, this is why, okay? They can only use 3% of 265. Whatever's left over, guess where it goes technically? It goes back to the seller as additional income.
Right.
And because the agent did not know this when they wrote the offer and did not advise their buyer of the loan knowledge that they should have. So therefore now they're trying to backtrack and say, hey, rather than losing that money, we want to reduce the sale price. So we get the full benefit, $10,000. So that's where your client has to decide whether or not he wants to sell or keep the difference. But you may lose, if your client's very motivated, most likely he will reduce the sale price. So that's the difference. All right, y'all know FHA up to 6%, right?
Right.
Conventional 3, what's VA? 4, thank you. 4%, okay? That is maximum seller allowance, contribution that the loan will allow you to do.
Is that something new?
No,
No,
it's always been there.
Because I've had a veteran deal, a VA deal, and not only we paid closing costs, but we also paid that buyer's income tax bill. So it's special stipulations in that.
Well,
And that
you're
bill was
representing
like,
seller, right?
it was representing the seller, but
Okay.
the seller and they paid like, trying to remember, it's been a couple of years. It was like almost $20,000 bill, but we made it happen,
So
You can do it,
that,
but you have to spread the money across.
Yeah,
different Things.
Right,
And it's how you word it, because I've done it before, but
Yeah.
how you word it.
it is.
but they got closing costs.
But that is more unique situation. That's not the norm. And you have to get special approval for those. Okay? So, like I said, with VA loans, and it can be that was the borrower also, the seller also VA veteran?
No, so it was
Okay. All right. Okay.
USDA is 6%.
Yes, USDA is basically FHA with an overlay. Yeah.
And then conventional, again, me?
3,
Okay.
yeah,
4.
4, 3, 4, and 6. And this is why FHA is so popular. 1, you can have the most sell concession. 2, it's only 3.5% down. Okay, And if you top that with DPA, it can be 0% down. So you see how that works. But even with, now there's some folks that are qualified for it conventional, but they go with FHA. Why is that?
They wouldn't let me. The last house I bought, I went conventional and I was hating it, and they wouldn't let me go FHA. They said my credit score was too high, they wouldn't let me. Was I really, was I done over? Tell me, cause I'll go back to her.
So that's a blanket statement, y'all, right? So unless I was her Linda knowing what the situation is, if this is not her first time home buying,
No, it's not my first
Property?
time I'm buying property. Is that
and
what?
she's already, yes, you
Oh.
can't have two FHAs.
I was about to go.
Okay, you cannot have two FHAs. The only exception to two FHAs, that if you're a mile away from your current
Right,
home.
alright, you're right.
You are relocating, and the only extreme exception is that if you're relocating, okay, sometime when you work for the municipality, they require you to be in that municipality. Let's say you currently have a house at DeKalb, you got a job in Fulton County with a municipality, and based on that position, they require you to be in Fulton County. That is the only exception that you have to have two FHAs.
You're right, you are right. There's something to say that, yeah.
Your original question was, even though people may qualify for conventional, why would they choose to go?
Yes, my original statement of that is because FHA has lower monthly mortgage insurance premium,
In the range.
okay? And that the benefit is that I can get down payment assistance to different programs much easier. Yeah. And the rates is better on FHA. It's almost like they're punishing somebody with good credit with still conventional. And they level the playing field because at one point, you remember during downturn pandemic, everybody was offering cash and conventional. FHA had no, not even, foot in the door. So they kind of leveled that playing field to where they're kind of making a much higher rate for conventional than it was FHA. So it kind of encouraged the seller to take FHA loans versus just conventional. So don't discount FHA that comes through, because if you look at the interest rate on the FHA contingency exhibit, that should tell you what kind of credit that client has.
You look at what?
The rates, when you do the financing contingency, there's
Oh,
the
yeah.
term, the
Yeah.
down payment, and the rates. If the rates is 9%, you gotta kind of question where that one came from. Okay? So anyway, I'll still hurry up and get going. So if you have any question, please give us a call. That is a number for Wildfire Mortgage Team, and we have a system to where if we make a call, we'll call you right back. Okay? So please, I would love to earn y'all's business. I really do. If you like, I also will make a customized app to where you can share this app with your client. So when you refer your client, automatically know who the agent is.
I have a client that, I have a client that, they're currently going through the NACA program. But
NACA is very specific.
Yeah,
They have their own.
but I'm looking at, I went through this complete file, and I'm looking at the features, what they're giving here, and there's somebody out here really competing in that kind of right now, I think.
But
I'm not
seriously, NACA buyers are one of the best buyers. You know why? They gotta go through all these system procedures. They have to get education about what's your income, what's your debt. You cannot spend more than what you make.
Right.
And they are very thorough on their education, which is huge, because for like, when I grew up, nobody ever told me, hey, don't live paycheck to paycheck. So I did it. I'll be very honest with you. I did it. I'm like, oh, I'm getting that much money done next week. So yeah, I'll just struggle a little bit, eat some ramen noodle, and next week I'll be good. I've done it, y'all. So, but with NACA, it tells you, this is your income, this is your non-negotiable expenses, this is how much you got, and this is what we recommend you put in saving toward buying a house.
I have an ethic client
Yeah.
right now.
They're great clients, y'all. When they're approved, they are truly approved.
Yes.
Okay, there's no doubt, question about it. So. All right. Any other questions? Okay, Wordsworth is doing free 99 headshots. Okay, free. So even though you may not dress the best that you feel like you are today, it doesn't matter because guess what? You need multiple poses, right? And sometimes you may want a casual one. So please take advantage of it because, you know, we have put him on his job to give you all free headshot today. Yeah, so what was the music, but
It ain't gonna hurt nothing, and if
Now-
you don't like it, don't use it.
He really does a good job.
He does a great
He
job.
brings out a good,
you're a feature.
yeah.
Oh,
Before you get
hey, hey,
before you get
before we get up, let's announce, oh, sorry. I think this is what's supposed to do next. The top producer, congratulations to Julia, Brittany, Phoebe, Nicole, Janelli, and Diane, LaCamba, Tony, congratulations, Kensington and Carol.